Good morning, guys. So the topic of this video is neuroscience and its application in powerlifting. Way above my pay grade, but you can see in that image, there's a clear difference between how high my loaded elbow is when both hands are up as compared to only one hand being up. This is because I took the advice of people that are smarter than myself, one of them being Tony Rogers out of Florida, the other being Dr. Andrew Locke out of somewhere in Australia, I don't know. But basically, I took two of their recommendations to rehab and help strengthen the affected side that has nerve damage from that compression injury to the dorsal scapular nerve, affects my scapula and my tricep. So I applied this because Tony had me doing upright rows. If I do upright rows with both hands operating the same, like I'm doing in this video, you can get an extra little bit of range of motion because it basically tells your brain that it's okay for the affected, injured side to move as freely as the right side is doing. It's basically tricking your brain into thinking that it's loaded bilaterally, like both arms doing something, where it's actually only loaded unilaterally because the dumbbell is only in one hand. I'm also doing it on tricep extensions, but you'll see I'm facing the mirror when doing the exercises with my uninjured side, my right side. Because as I'm doing this, and this is what I got from Dr. Locke, I'm staring at myself in the mirror and visualizing and speaking to myself saying, because the mirror is a mirror image, so even though it's loaded in my right hand, I can visually see it as my left hand. I'm saying, this is my left elbow, this is my left tricep, squeeze my left tricep, squeeze my left shoulder. I feel that activation more on the left side. Then once the set is completed in the right hand, I turn around and do an actual set on my left side. I can't convince you the way this is, but I can feel an incredible difference. And if you refer back to the starting image in this video, you can clearly see there is a definitive change in height of about an inch as to how high that left elbow can get. I don't really have any evidence as to how much benefit this got me, but I went on to hit 315 for 3 on close grip incline bench, 275 for multiple sets of 4, whereas 12 months ago, I could only do 185 for a set of 5 on that movement because the side that was affected by that compression injury to the dorsal scapular nerve, or the muscle specifically, was the ones controlling the scapular stability on this side and the long head of my tricep, which is involved in any overhead movement. It was something that I really struggled with. And if you guys remember, in 2018, I benched 575 pounds. That was my personal best. It was in the gym, so it's not a meet best, but that was still hell of a lot of weight. And subsequently, about 6 months after I bent the bar around my neck and caused this injury to occur, I dropped down to being unable to bench press 225. So this has been a very long road. I'm not going to pretend to understand all of the minutia of the neuroscience aspect of this. Basically, my only experience with it before, or something along these lines, was like the cross hemisphere communication, because I've ruptured my bicep. I've ruptured both of them, but when I was always under the impression from my classes in college was that if you injure one side of your body, continue to train the opposite side of the body, because a small percentage of that training still travels not only to the arm that you are moving, but to the side that is injured. It's a way to maintain muscularity, muscle tone, and just stay a bit healthier as you're rehabbing an injury. If you apply that same thought process to this type of nerve damage, where there is no pain with this injury, it's literally just loss of function. If you apply that same thought process and then also implement this like type of mirror therapy, where it's literally you're gaming the system of your own brain, you can make some serious progress. At least I was able to in one session. I don't know if this was a fluke. This was one time that I did it, but based on some logic and rationality, if you think that that cross hemisphere communication is true, and everything else that my coach Jake and I have been doing already to retrain that mental connection between my brain and my tricep is already benefiting me. I think adding this little extra thing, this little extra oomph, is gonna be a very, very cool part and portion of the rehab process, because as Jake and I were talking yesterday, I don't really think that this has ever been done on an extremely high level. I was able to come back and bench press 507 in 2020. It has subsequently flared up again and dropped to around the mid fours. But if I've never approached this with this much thoughtful rehab, this much thoughtful training, or has honestly been bought into the fact that I can get better as much as I am right now. So I wanted to put this video out because it's a little cool thing that I did. It's really neat to see. Honestly, it's just goofy and really cool. But huge shout out to Dr. Andrew Locke, Mr. Tony Rogers. I don't know if you're technically a doctor. I'm sorry if I should say that. It's Dr. Tony Rogers. I don't fucking know. But shout out to those guys because this has been incredibly helpful. Shout out to Jake, my coach, because this is like, we're just fucking killing it, man. And if this works, and if I come back and hit a bench press PR, I honestly think that this is going to be one of the coolest instances of rehab that has ever taken place. So yeah, and I mean, I am biased because it's myself, but good God, would it be cool to come back and hit a sweet mid fives bench on that platform. But cool. Hope you like this video.